Okay.
Pretty sure it's one.
I completely forgot. Okay. And I think they're ready. I can't. There's two. They're too chatty. We got chatty players here. I can't tell if they're ready.
I think they're ready. They're saying go go go.
They are.
It seems like it.
All right.
All right. Let's get this started.
Have fun, guys.
We'll do. All right, guys. We are going to be into a PVZ, and I'm sure Zombie kind of happy because she dodged a bullet. No Terran in this match. I think one of the first matches besides that PvP where we didn't have a Terran. And of course we have the ZVZ. Well, whatever I'm saying. Zombie Group will avoid a non-Terran game.
Definitely.
And we are going to see Shew and Suppy, a PVZ. This is actually going to be super awesome. Of course, a lot of people know Suppy. You might not know Shew as well, but he does play for Clarity Gaming. Very strong Protoss player, particularly strong in PVZ from what I've seen. And he is spawning over on the lower right portion of Acheron Wastes. He is the Protoss player for Clarity Gaming, Shew.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner as our red Zerg player, we have Suppy.
All right, so PVZ, Acheron Wastes. Long games happen here, and Shew is, I know he's one for taking fast third bases in PVZ, especially on this map in particular, opening up with a Void Ray style. Can, of course, branch out. You don't want to fall too deep into one meta or something like that, but it's something I would not be surprised to see. And Acheron Wastes is just such a great map for 3 bases. Don't really need to say too much more than that. It just lends itself.
Definitely. Now we do have another close pylon going down just for that quick extra way to get some more minerals. We do have the little trick going over here for Suppy, so he is getting the extra drone to do the mining. So obviously nothing super fancy going on here. We don't see any early builds or early aggression. Definitely going the safe route for both. We do have the scout going out at the typical time, about 1:30, to float on over there.
Yep, looks like Shew going for a gateway-based expansion here with the pylon on the high ground. Of course, you can follow up with a lot of things with this, but usually it revolves around a 4-gate timing. Depending how much Chrono Boost you want to throw into Warp Gate, can be very, very aggressive. There's a lot of different ways to follow that up, something we can take a look at once the game progresses a little further. We are going to see Suppy go for a 15 pool, probably going to follow it up with a 15 hatch, very standard. However, once you notice that your Protoss isn't forward fast expanding, there's a couple decisions you need to make. Do I throw down the fast third hatch? Do I go right into gas instead? You can hold 3 base against 4 gates, but that's kind of exactly what it's designed to prevent. So you got to be very careful.
And we have the probe not able to actually block that hatchery. Speaking of which, since we have some time early in this game, besides the fact we do have double assimilator coming down for Shew, I had someone pull a proxy spawning pool. Now, I know that sounds really strange because, well, you have to build a spawning pool on creep. What they would do is they built a hatchery and immediately counted and built a spawning pool on top of it.
You know what? I've seen that. I saw that in a tournament once. It was actually relatively recent. I'm pretty sure it was in Heart of the Swarm. I can't remember exactly who did it. If anyone in chat knows, I mean, it was like a big name. It wasn't some random person doing it. I think it was a 6 pool too, which makes it that much crazier.
It's confusing when you go to the your Zerg player's base. You're like, oh, there's no spawning pool. You're not thinking, oh, there's a proxy spawning pool dying somewhere.
It's so meta.
Exactly. So suddenly you're invaded with Zerglings. You're like, how is it even possible? This isn't even the amount of time it would have taken to build a spawning pool since I saw your base.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's such a weird thing to see. It sounds like something TLO would do. Maybe it was TLO. I don't actually know. I've played games where I get infestation pits proxied, but you can poop creep for that, so it's not that weird.
Yeah.
But looks like nothing that crazy quite happening, which is good because my brain wouldn't be able to handle it. Shew going for a conservative expansion here, getting the Mothership Core out. With a fast Nexus, of course, a fast Mothership Core allows you to get that Photon overcharge much quicker, which helps you pretty much defend against almost anything. And will we see, likely what we're going to see from Shew is 3 gates walling off the front and moving into 4-gate pressure. They'll time out very nicely. The Mothership Core going to deny that Zergling scout here, but Suppy, of course, going to be fully aware that it is not a forged fast expand. There is no wall at the front quite yet.
Definitely, and with that, we do have the sentry coming down just for that early defense. He wants to make sure that if there is any early Zerg aggression, he wants to be able to wall off, though obviously that ramp is much too large. He just wants to be able to wall off his natural, so he doesn't have to worry about any of that. We do have the Zergling speed on the way with some minor creep spread will actually begin now from the natural. 2 more overlords in production, so nothing really specifically on tech paths, just more macroing up, kind of poking and probing to see what the other person is doing to make sure that they're surprised.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's very macro heavy. Shew actually chrono boosting out 2 sentries here, so I'm not sure how aggressive he wants to be or if he wants to kind of start pecking away at the rocks. With a gateway expand, if you notice that the Zerg isn't taking a third, you don't need to go attack them, but it's nice too. It's something you can get away with, especially with the Mothership Core. You're able to recall your units back. Suppy, meanwhile, has pulled out of gas, but he has gone back in now. Initially just wanted that speed. Now going to get some gas for the Roach Warren because he knows this is the timing. Around 6 minutes, 30 seconds, that's when Warp Gate finishes. That's when the attacks can come. No proxy pylon for Shew, though. There is a probe, but no pylon down yet. Okay, there we go. The attack will commence.
Definitely, and with this, Suppy actually getting a third base along with that Roach Warren that is just about to finish. Zergling speed also finishing up, almost identical with the time that the Roach Warren will complete. So this will be an interesting time. We do have the 4 sentries and 2 zealots moving out. Interesting composition, very sentry heavy, not much DPS in that, no sentries whatsoever, though the warp in with more zealots and another closer pylons for quicker reinforcements. This queen is sitting here. This queen is about to get destroyed.
Yeah, needs to be very careful and stuff. Pulling her back. Shew walling off the front because he saw those Zerglings run by looking for a possible counterattack and a sentry back at home just in case. Full Zealot sentry here. And he's, oh, look at this. He's hallucinating Zealots to make the force appear larger. There is no detection. There is no lair, no Spore Crawler. So this is very interesting. Got a force field off the main ramp, and now the Natural is in trouble.
That was an amazing force field. That queen getting taken out. These zealots will soak up quite a bit of damage. Zerglings are going to try to get a surround. They're not, unfortunately, attacking the hallucinated units. I think he's figured it out. Some of those drones aren't actually dying. He shields off the ramp again, doing a ton of damage with the units that are in his Natural. These roaches are not able to get where they want to. Another shield goes down, keeping them up at that ramp.
What a push here by Shew, and he does have enough energy for both a time warp and a recall, so he can continue with this aggression. Only 1 sentry left, though. Not able to get the force field on the ramp, but we do have a lot of roaches and Zerglings coming out. The force field does go down on the ramp again, but it looks like most of the sentries will get cleaned up. There goes the time warp, making these zealots much more effective against these roaches. A second time warp, so Shew is looking to commit here. He does not want a recall. He's going to be able to kill all of these roaches. He wants this hatch dead.
An amazing battle here. The army supply is actually still pretty much split down the line. Even the worker count is the same, even with the 9 workers that have been killed, though more are about to go down. The amount of zealots in this, he's not pulling any of his drones. I'm rather surprised. Only 3 roaches and a queen here to actually defend. We now have stalkers into the mix to help take out the armored roaches.
Yeah, looking for some of that distance, can start shooting at them while they're force fielded behind the ramp as well. Shew doesn't quite have the gas to keep warping in sentries. No more force fields going to be here, but he's actually going to dance right into the main. Not looking to kill the Natural, at least not right away. Wants to possibly go for the kill here, get right on top of those spawning units. And with all these zealots, even though this roach is on the field, there's just not enough room to kite.
Definitely, and he's leading some zealots back to actually kill that. There is one roach trying to take down those zealots. However, I think he's starting to feel he is over pushing a little bit. He might need to retreat and regroup a bit, though. He continues to push with the zealot aggression. The queen's coming out with only a handful of Zergling and 2 roaches. I don't think he's going to be able to push this back. More reinforcements are coming up the ramp with 1 zealot getting taken out at the Natural. The 3 HP on the hatchery at the Natural.
Just barely saved. Oh, Stalker, Hero Stalker. That's going to be a big kill on its list, but the bigger story might be the victor here. Shew is 20 supply ahead. He's killed a lot of drones, 7 workers ahead, and Suppy is actually, looks like he's just gearing up for a counterattack, or at least just to get this proxy pylon. Gonna find it very hard to fight this army head on. There's enough energy here for another time warp as well, and the Mothership Core, of course, going uncontested. There's only 1 queen on the field, and it is not in any place to defend. Suppy is gonna retreat to his third and try to salvage what he has left, which is really just gonna be a hatchery.
Definitely, and with the income, Suppy is only making a quarter of what Shew is at this point, so even with that, Shew will continue to be able to pump out units. I really don't see any coming back. The main base does go down. The only thing left is this, now the main base. It is third. Another time warp does go down on the ramp. More of those roaches going down, and I do expect a GG at any moment at this point as units continue to come in.
Yeah, it's looking like Suppy, fighting as hard as he can, but it's so hard to trade cost effectively with those sentries, with that time warp. He had a good number of roaches he could have held, but the Mothership Core backing this up is really what makes this push so strong. And it's such a split-second decision where you realize, okay, it's time for me to commit. It's time for me to drop 2 time warps and realize my units are not getting out of here alive unless we win the game right here. And Shew, it looks like he's done it. And GG is dropped from Suppy. Shew going to go up 1-0 in this round 2 match.
Definitely. That was definitely exciting. aggression that I didn't expect from the early build that I actually saw. I don't think even him going into that expected that to be a full in, but when he realized he had the opportunity, he grabbed it and ripped it right out of the Zerg's heart.
Yeah, it was just it's so interesting. I don't usually see something like this. I mean, I'll see the pushes, I'll see them kind of work, but in a map like Akalon Waste where it has, that one force field ramp, if you can get up there without the Zerglings keeping you back, you force field it off, it's just really hard to deal with.
Definitely.
So we're gonna go to a commercial break, guys, while our players get ready for the second game. It is a best of 3 with Shew up 1-0, and we'll be right back.